Okay, today I wanted to talk about more on solo leveling. So last we talked about this, we were kind of talking about the beginning. So basically, we're talking about the beginning of the story and the build up, and most importantly, the build up kind of as the training arc aspect. Because if you've read a lot of these mangas, you'll begin to kind of see that a lot of them are this beginning section is really hard for a lot of isekais. Like some of them are just so bad because they can't actually stick this landing. Because what they're trying to do is they're trying to sell you on a normal relatable character, and then they're going to go, something bad is going to happen to them, and then they're going to get reborn. And but in this, they're all going to have to sell you on the main character. They're going to have to make you like the main character. They're going to have to find some way to kind of pull you in, and they're going to have to show you how they were weak before, and then now they're strong. Um, you kind of have all these aspects, and this is what a lot of them really just they just don't know how to do it. They just don't know how to do this beginning part. So this is something that solo leveling does really well. It kind of sells this aspect for it. And what I talked about last is we were talking about this is the training arc. The first few episodes is kind of building us towards the training arc. So what we want to see is we want to see the training pay off. You know, Rocky in the movies, the boxing movies, Rocky's training and training and training to fight against the Russian boxer or something like that, and we want to see it pay off. All right, there you go. Rocking the Russian there. And no, that's not a real word because I don't know Russian. So we're building towards this payoff as far as it goes. And what we do then is we just are beginning to train. We're just beginning to train and beat monsters we couldn't beat before. You know, before our main character was an E rank. So basically everything killed him, more or less. Everything beat him, everything killed him, everything hurt him. Basically everything did that. So we slowly kind of see this build up for it as we start working our way up this hill, up this training arc, you know, getting stronger and stronger. And the audience, we can see the payoff, and it's good. You want to see that payoff. You want to see your main characters get good things. You want to see them reach the finish line. But if you just reach the finish line, if you're running a marathon and you just teleport there, it's not satisfying. You don't feel like you've earned it. And this is what you want to do, is you want to make sure your main character feels like he's earned it. So our main character earned his position to get to the point where he can get stronger because of his sacrifice. You know, he sacrificed himself in the original, in the beginning of the show. He sacrificed himself. And then also, I can't spell. He sacrificed himself, and then it's continually building up. And then he goes and he uses his brain power. He uses his brain power to figure out the clues behind the statues and the riddle and figure out the rules and use that to save the people around him and thus sacrifice himself. And this is what he's done. All of this is done to earn his way here. Now he can do it. Now he's building up. So what we still haven't seen is we still haven't really seen that big, satisfying payoff. Again, you don't want to have the big one that finalizes everything out or ends everything. That's fine. We just want we want a good payoff, and we're going to build towards the payoff. So let's see how the story does this. How does the story build towards this great payoff? Because again, up here you have the moments. You have like Luffy learning how to use hockey. You have and him finally using it on an enemy. You have Zoro training, you have Luffy training, you have Naruto training, you have Gon training to use Nin and basically fighting in Hisoka. You have all of these aspects where these characters are training, and you want them to continually train to then see the payoff, to see what it allows you, what it gets you. Basically, this is what hard work does. Hard work is supposed to reward you, and the reward is all the better because of the hard work. The harder the work, the longer the time between you start working versus the payoff, the more satisfying it is. That's the reason why Naruto is such a good show, does so well with its training arcs, is because they're so long. Naruto's training to use Rasengan for like 10 episodes. At least I always felt that way. It probably wasn't that long, but he's training for a long time, and then we finally get to see the payoff. That's the reason why when Naruto's learning to use Sage Mode, basically he's got to travel to where the frogs are. And then he's got to train where the frogs are. Then he's got to get a roadblock. Then he's got to get past the roadblock. Then he's going to get another roadblock and get past the roadblock and then get there. And he's making a breakthrough, but oh no, the breakthrough's not fast enough. And he's got to get another one and then another one. And then bam, we finally get to here. And because this is the journey, the end of the journey is shaped by the beginning of the journey. All of this is encapsulated in the experience that the audience is going towards. We want to see the hard work, but you have to make it interesting. That's always the most important rule. Despite all the setbacks and everything, it must be interesting. That's what you have to do. So it must be interesting. So this is what we're building towards. So we have our main character. He's gone through this traumatic event. He's come out the other side, and he goes back to dungeoning. So he signs up with another group of dungeoning. They're a bunch of C rankers. So again, we have this level aspect so we can clearly see and define what our main character has managed to do. And okay, they just need 2 more people. So he teams up. There's 6 C rankers. And there'll be an E and then a D guy. So this is our main character here. And this is the rich kid. This is the noob. We're going to call him the noob. He's the rich kid, but he's trying really hard. But he's rich, so that bought him a bunch of gear. But he's not that great at it. This is his first dungeon, basically. But he's a D rank. But this is his first dungeon. All right. So they're going on a dungeon, and the C rankers are like, hey, we just need 2 more people. We just need 2 more people to go on this dungeon. It'll be easy peasy, basically, from here. And they're going through the dungeon, and then our main character he starts helping them out. He's using that brain power that he's got. He's saying, hey, it looks like insects. They're coming from above. And they're like, oh, okay, this is cool. Thanks, you're really good. For an E ranker, you're actually not too bad. And so they go up there until we come up against a very big spider who's sleeping. This is the boss. And what we have are a whole bunch of mana crystals. Basically, these are worth gazillions of dollars. Giant, lots of dollars, basically. These are all worth tons of money, but of course you can't mine them without risking waking the spider from there. And so what they're going to do is basically the captain of the party, I think his name is Daeung Suk. I'm not going to be great with the names in this show. But basically he's saying like, all right, let's wait and plan because, hey, we're C ranks. This is really strong. We're going to have to figure out a way to get around this. And then they go, hey, we need some more supplies. This is what we need some more supplies. We're going to get this. You guys wait here real quick. And I'm going to send 2 guys back. We're going to go back and we're going to take a look at it. So that we got the entrance of the cave and we're going to walk back down the length of the cave and all that. And it's like, okay, that'll be fine. So here's our 2 main characters. They're just sitting here chilling and, nothing bad. And then the rest of them are kind of headed back this way. And then all of a sudden, they block the doorway. Their magician blocks the doorway. So what it does is this does 2 things. 1, it traps them. So they are trapped. And 2, the spider's now awake. I'm now awake. So the spider's now awake and they're trapped. So what this does is setting up a really good dynamic is because, of course, they think their plan, the villainous party members' plans is, hey, these guys are really weak. We're going to let the spider eat them. The spider's going to go back to sleep and be so engorged on the flesh of these 2 noobs that we can, then go and get these gazillion dollars in mana crystals, basically. So we're sacrificing them. We're murdering them to get money. So this does a few things. 1, we have this usurp expectations where basically they're expecting the main character to be super weak, but we know he's not. So we have this insider knowledge, which is really satisfying to really show off and flash. And basically everyone thinks that you're going to be really weak, but then you punch from down underneath and uppercut the guy to the jaw and you win. And it's like, hooray. That's what you're kind of doing over an extended period. So what you've got is you have this, they're setting the main character up to prove everyone wrong, to prove that he's strong, to prove that this is going to be something that he can really excel and do really well at. And this is what we're setting up towards. So this is what we're building towards. This is what we've got. And then the other thing we're doing is we're forcing the main character, again, what you have is the main character does this, fights against, wolves, and succeeds. So now wolves are no longer a challenge. So you have to reset the challenge. And this is snakes. And you have to then, once you get used to defeating snakes, you have to reset the challenge. And then this up here is spiders, giant spiders. So what you're resetting this training arc, so each time the bosses get consecutively stronger and stronger and stronger, but also it's within the main character's knowledge, but you kind of have this earned, there is a fight, there is the trial. It's not just an easy win. The other thing that this show does really well, and you'll kind of see this, is that the main character's victories, rather than being widespread, they're very hidden. So what it is it's building this idea of the main character is above the glory, basically, or anything like that. He's above the accolades and the adoration. What he's after is so beyond that he doesn't even need the accolades. So what you have is you have this secret knowledge. And this secret knowledge, insider knowledge part works really well, especially when the audience begins to feel special. We feel special because we know what's going on with Jinwoo and nobody else does. We know what's going to happen. And then the other thing that this does is revenge. This is the only reason why the Shield hero, besides the girls, Rise of the Shield hero became popular, is because of revenge. I think I'll do a video at some point and see how the Shield hero did it. But basically, all the Shield hero has going for it is the audience saying, we want revenge. We want that princess lady to get her face punched in. We want the king to get their face punched in. We want all of that. Everyone to get their face punched in. We want revenge. And this is another aspect. So again, you're engaging the audience. This is what they want to do. And Shield hero, what you do is you set up a situation where they're wronged, and then you get to have that payoff. You get to have that payback. And that's what's keeping your audience interesting. That's what makes the story interesting. And this is it. So now we're setting up an opportunity. Not only did he help them out, and he said, hey, insects, easy peasy. He's helping them. They're buddies. They're working together. But then they get betrayed, and it turns out they're bloodthirsty. So then now what we've got is the noob and Jin-Woo, who are now against the giant spider. They're fighting against, or he's fighting against the giant spider, and he ends up, basically what you have is you have a fight that kind of looks like this. Usually this is how a fight works. So he's dun-dun-dun-dun, he's fighting. He gets knocked down. Dun-dun-dun-dun, he's fighting. He gets knocked down. Dun-dun-dun-dun, he's fighting. He gets knocked down. He gets fighting, and then right here, usually there is a moment where all hope seems lost, and then something happens, and you have this triumphant fight. This is kind of how a lot of fights work. So this is how you want to analyze your fight. So basically what you're doing is you're fighting, counterattack, fighting, counterattack, fighting, counterattack, fighting, counterattack. All hope seems lost, but wait, there's more. And then the main character rises all the way up to the challenge, and then he wins. And so Jinwoo does this. He ends up getting defeated. He basically almost ends up dying down here because he's running out of stamina. He's running out of speed. He's slowing down. But then he gets a full heal, just like Lance does in Pokemon in the Elite Four. But he uses a full heal, cures your paralyzed status, and goes all the way back up to full HP with that Dragonite. Really unfair. But then he goes up here all the way to full heal, and then he defeats the spider. And then he defeats the spider, they kill it, and then the main character, the other guy, the noob, is like, whew, this guy may kill me. He may be one of those psycho guys, so I'm going to be nice to him. But basically what we have is you have this, again, secret knowledge, because then, guess what happens? The wall falls away, and these guys return. They return because they're wanting to steal the mana crystals, but it turns out the main character and the noob are still alive. Somehow they're still alive. So again, what do you have? You have this great moment where these bullies are walking into it, where you want them to. You want the bullies to pick on that one kid who's going to turn around and sock him in the face. That's what you want to have. You want revenge. You want them to get what's coming to them. You want this revenge aspect to engage and pull the audience in, because we can't stand bullies. And so the bullies come in. They start saying, hey, noob, you need to kill Jin-Woo and we'll let you go. And the noob, for his credit, he goes, no, I'm not going to betray my friend. He just saved my life. I'm not going to do it. You guys are scumbags. And then they attack Jin-Woo and nearly destroy him, it seems. And he's just like, oh my gosh. And it turns out then he gets this screen that shows up that says 0 of 6 players are trying to kill you, and you need to, or 6 players are trying to kill you, and you've killed 0 of them. You need to kill them all. And so now it's different because we've changed, we're leveling up, we're ratcheting up this tension. Everything is getting up and up and up and up. Stonks all the way up, no down. They're headed all the way up because the main characters now, they're trying to kill him. He just killed the spider. He's kind of weak. You don't really know if he can fight against these 6 C levels. Again, he's still technically just an E level. And he's fighting against them. He also hasn't fought against humans before. And then he has this great moment where they're like lording it over him. They're like, hey, we're going to kill you. We're going to kill you. And all these, they're taunting him. And you see that they're really cruel. Again, you're building up how much the audience hates them. And then you kill them basically from here. So there's the 2 axes where basically you're building up how much the audience hates these characters, these villains, how bad they are. And then right as they're getting as bad as they can get that the story allows, you gotta kill them. And we're like, hooray, the bullies are dying. And he goes through and he kills all the bullies. He kills them all. He kills all 6 of them because they were trying to murder him. They tried to kill him 3 times. That's the other thing, is we now have the moral right. We have the moral right. We are now righteous in killing these bad guys, because not only did they try to kill us once, they tried to kill us twice, and now they're trying to kill us 3 times. They're trying to murder our main character, and basically then they beg for mercy. We'll never try and kill you 3 times ever again. And he's like, yeah, right. So he kills all 6 of them, obviously also because of the quest. So he also has to do it because of the quest. He can't let them go because we know what happens last time when he didn't do the quest. He almost got killed. So he's going to kill all of them, and then they get out. And again, think of what this does, is he does this great moment, this great action, this great thing, but it's all secret. It's all hush-hush. Secret hush-hush. Secret hush-hush. And this is an interesting thing the story does, and one of the things that I think makes it unique and stands out is they always try, every time there's a big moment with Jin-Woo where he does something cool and awesome and all this stuff, they keep it hush-hush. Basically, it's not until very later in the story, in the show, do we actually get to see the world and the audience kind of, and the rest of the characters kind of noticing what's going on. You have all these really cool moments where it's played off of this secret insider knowledge where none of the other characters seem to really know what's going on. They don't really know that how powerful Jin-Woo is. But we do, the audience does. We have this special knowledge. And this is something that the story just does really well with. It continually builds, and it's a unique aspect that I haven't really seen many other places do. Some people do it, they'll usually have a few moments. I think I talked in an earlier video kind of about Kenpachi's eye patch, where Kenpachi from Bleach gets his eye patch punched off by Urahara, or whatever the number 6 is, and it's this great moment where once he gets the eye patch get punched off, you immediately know what's going to happen. This eye patch makes him weaker, and this bad guy just punched it off, and he's about to get in a world of pain get released on him. I think that's what the eye patch looks like from there. So, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I think that kind of covers everything as far as how we build towards that payoff. Building towards that payoff with our training, and this is what the training arc builds towards, because if you're building towards something and you flub it, it ruins the whole journey. So this is the thing. This is like I talked with Naruto Sage Mode. Sage Mode comes up here, and then you get Naruto versus Pain. I think that's the first one. So basically Naruto versus Pain starts at the beginning of his training for Sage Mode. So it's this huge long journey, but the payoff is he defeats Pain, and who's been this like amazing bad guy built up over like 100 to 200 episodes. You've been building this guy up, and he defeats them, and that's the payoff. And that's what makes Naruto such a good series, and why it's so well loved, is you have all these great moments that come into play and pay off in the end. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I will see you in the next.